My name is Kubby Kubbernus. My friends call me Kubby, and you're listening to the Kubby Audio and Podcast. This week, we're talking about failure and what it means to fail. What do you do in terms of failing? What do you do after you fail? And how do you get yourself back up on the horse and keep riding? This week, I kind of wanted to, before we get into things, I just wanted to say thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. It's really great. I think the last couple of podcasts have been really passionate and powerful, and I think people have really gravitated towards those things. So I'm going to continue telling it like I see it, trying to be as honest and as truthful as I can with you guys so that you can kind of see behind the scenes of my entrepreneurship journey, because I think that and that's really what this episode is about, is that I think a lot of people put the highlight reel out. I think a lot of people put the best stuff out there. They only show their successes. They only show what's going on, what's great in their life. And that's social media in general. But I think a lot of entrepreneurs put that spin on things, and we don't necessarily see what's reality. Because the reality is that you're going to fail. As an entrepreneur, as a business person in life, you're gonna fail. I heard an awesome clip actually the other day from, I think it was from Oliver Stone, the famous director. Now, of course, if you love him or you hate him or whatever, I don't care about his politics or anything like that, but he said that he's failed more times than he's succeeded. And I think that's really an interesting topic to discuss, because I really think there's a lot of fake entrepreneurship bullshit out there. I mean, out on the Instagram, we can all see it. And I want to talk today about losing $100,000, because my business has recently lost $100,000. Now, I'll get into what does that mean and what are you talking about losing money now. But before I want to get into that, I just want to say thank you for joining us. And also, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe to the podcast. I do this for free. I don't take any money from it. I'm not trying to get you into some mastermind or some course at this point. Maybe I will in the future. So don't count me out yet. But I'm not trying to get any money from you guys. I just wanted to spread my knowledge and help you guys get better at your entrepreneurship journey, or better at your business, or better at marketing, etc. So thank you so much for listening. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe on iTunes or listen on SoundCloud. But let's get into losing $100,000. Now, I think, like I said before, a lot of entrepreneurs, they only show the good shit. They don't show you the bad stuff that's happening in their entrepreneurship journey, because the truth is that there's always going to be failure. Your business is going to go up, your business is going to go down, and you have to be able to weather those storms. You're going to have to be able to weather those ups and downs, those places where you're not doing as well as you hope to do. And that's a big issue in the community where we're not showing that. So I want to be completely open and honest with you guys. So last month, before or during summer holidays, we got a very bad news from one of our clients that, hey, you know what, guys, we're having problems meeting all of our budgets, and we have to do some budget cuts, and unfortunately, that's going to go into your contract, and we're going to have to take $100,000 out of your budget. Now, that hits you like a slug to your chest. That hurts. I mean, it doesn't matter if your business is doing $100 million a year or $1 million a year. $100,000 is a lot of fucking money. And I don't, any entrepreneur says, oh, that's pocket change if you're making billions. No, money is money, and you do good things with money. $100,000 in the hands of Apple is still $100,000. They can still hire, 3 students or 3 people out of college, or they could hire, X person or hire this consultancy to do this or do this with that money. So, I just want to make you guys aware that my business is not massive. My business is doing very well, but it's not a massive $100 million a year company, but still $100,000 hurts. And that's going to happen. That's going to happen in your life. So get ready for it. If you're owning your own business, there's going to be times where you are going to have a setback. Setbacks are completely natural. And the difference between good entrepreneurs and bad entrepreneurs, or I wouldn't even say good or bad, or just that the difference between experienced entrepreneurs and those that are learning still is how much that affects you. How much do you get hit by that and then stay off of the horse? How much can you actually take? How much can you weather that storm and take that hit and say, okay, listen, regroup. All right, that's a setback. That sucks ass. How do we regroup and make sure that we come back stronger and rally? Because it's like sports, or it's like any kind of thing in this world. I mean, you're gonna have times where you're down, where the numbers are on the board and you're not doing as well as you want to do. But it's how you come back after halftime and how you come back that's going to determine how successful you are. I always say, like, I've failed more than I've succeeded, and I think that's so true. And I heard that from Oliver Stone, and I just thought that's exactly right. That's exactly how I feel, is that you're going to fail more than you succeed. So, you know, and I'll go into detail. I mean, losing that $100,000, that's basically a budgetary issue. And if you're in consultancy or if you're selling any services, that's going to happen where someone says, you know what, we're doing our budget for next year, or we're doing our budget for next quarter. And guys, we've had to make some hard decisions, and this is just the way it's going to go. You're going to have to make hard decisions like that in your business. You're going to have to say, do we have to fire people? Do we have to not do this thing that we were going to do? Do we have to look at the business differently? You're going to have to be in control of that, because if you're not doing a proper job, and you're not safeguarding your people, and you're not safeguarding your business and your livelihood. So don't be afraid of making hard decisions like that, because they're going to do that. And even if you've got the best clients in the world or the best relationships in the world, it is business, and business is personal, as I always say. But at the same time, they're looking after their people. They're in charge of however many employees they have, and they're responsible for taking care of their employees. So you also have to do the same. So you have to make some hard decisions sometimes. So, and losing that $100K, that sucks. But the thing that you have to do is you have to be open and honest with it. You have to be able to go to your employees or your spouse or whoever it is, like your partners within the business, and say, this is what's happening. This sucks. Yes. You know, you can go away and you can lick your wounds for like half a day. You get like half a day, and then you gotta come back strong and say, okay, this blows. We know that. I'm not gonna hide against that. I mean, if you're way too positive and not explaining it properly to your employees and saying, hey, listen, this is how it is, and this sucks, and you know, being actually open and honest about it, I don't think that's the right approach. I think you need to be open and honest about it, but you can't be too negative about it. You have to be positive. You have to say, this is not good. This is how we're going to fix that, but we can do better, and we can get a new client, and we can do this, and we can do that, and it's going to be okay. We're going to be fine, and have that positive attitude. Because if you sit and you wallow in that pity and you lick your wounds for too long, it affects everybody on the team, and it's not good. It will affect your other client relationships. It'll affect, because the truth is that people want to deal with winners. As much as I don't want to say, oh, there's winners and losers, because it means sometimes there is, but it's not how I look at things. But people want to do business with winners. People want to do business with confident people. If you're not confident, if you've been hit too many times, if you've been hit by too many failures and you haven't gotten back up on that horse, that shows, and that's a temperature in the room that you can feel that, oh, this person isn't necessarily as confident as I want them to be, and I'm not going to hand them over business. So you also have to recognize that from a sales perspective or from a relationships perspective, is that those failures will color your experience or color the way that people feel about you. So you have to manage that effectively. You have to be able to take those failures and turn them into positives and turn them into, okay, a rally, and we're going to kick ass next time, and that's not going to affect us, and that's not going to slow us down. Because if it does, then it's going to show, and it can affect the rest of your business. So that's the number one tip I have for you today is make sure that you're okay to go lick your wounds. I understand. I mean, it affects me. Losing $100,000 is not nice. It's not something I wanted to do, but it happened, and that's just the way it is. But how I deal with that, how I approach that, is going to impact how it impacts everything else. So be mindful of that. So to wrap up what we've been talking about here, 1, failure is natural. It's going to come. I mean, how many games has Michael Jordan lost? How many shots has he taken that he hasn't drained? How many things have you done that you haven't been successful at? So failure is natural. Get fucking used to it. How you come back from failure is the most important aspect of all. So don't lick your wounds too long. Don't wallow in your own pity. Get back up on the horse and fight harder and rally against those losses, because that is going to determine how successful you are. And it matters to you, and it matters to your team, and it matters to the people you do business with, because they're going to notice that failure on you, and they're going to notice, how does that person react to this? Because that's a true mark of a champion, and that's the true mark of an entrepreneur, is how much you can come back from those failures and make your own successes in the future. So I really hope that gave you guys something to think about this week on the podcast, and I just want to thank you again so much for listening. Please subscribe to this on iTunes and leave a review if you're feeling like it. That'd be really great. I think nobody's done a review yet, so you could be the number 1 person to leave a review, and that would be super special. And actually, you know what? Let's do something interesting here. I'm going to do a contest. If you hear this and you're on iTunes and you subscribed, leave a review, and I will put your name into a contest to win maybe a Kubby hat or a shirt or something like that, or maybe even a FaceTime with me. So thank you so much for listening. Adios, amigos.